Welcome to Eventful Endeavors, secrets to crafting the perfect celebration. If you're planning an event and looking for useful tips from industry experts, you're in the right place. So get ready to take some notes and we'll dive right in. This is Eventful Endeavors.
Hey everybody, it's Nate with Felix and Fingers. I'm here with the amazing Chloe Hagle with Avenue Events Group. She is one of their fantastic planners. She's been with them for quite a while. She's originally from Florida, where I met her, and wanted me to make sure I mentioned that she's a proud alumni of the University of Central Florida. Go Golden Knights. She has many, many years of professional experience. She's been working in event planning. She's been working with venues, and she is known for the way that she handles like logistics and coordination and really creative problem solving. I'm so excited to bring her here. I've known her for a little while and we've done some amazing events together. Chloe, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me. So excited to be here.
So we're recording this on a Friday. Any plans for the weekend?
Not too many plans, but Friday is our work from home day, so I'm living that up.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely one of the benefits of being in the event industry. Unless we're on site with something special, we get to work from our couch.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take the rest because we're always running around.
So I wanted to dive in and learn and kind of share a little bit more about your history with Avenue and with you personally and professionally. So tell me a little bit about your story. Let's start with like how long you've been with Avenue and what kind of brought you to Avenue.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started with Avenue in the spring of last year. So I've been with them for over a year. It's a really small company, but we all have such amazing backgrounds. We work really well together. They started the company with the focus on venues, but we're definitely leaning more into the planning side, which is where I come in with my experience. Prior to Avenue, I worked for Hello DMC.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Another
Yep,
big name.
of course. So my background is more in the DMC world. And prior to that, I worked for a venue in Atlanta when I lived up there.
Oh,
So I've
really?
had a little bit of all different types of event experience, but I really love planning large scale events and doing more of that DMC work. And prior to my experience as an event planner, I was a personal trainer. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
kind of had quite the journey, but I am happy to be in events. It's what I love doing and just kind of flexing all of my different skills.
That's awesome. So I gotta know, is there any particular skill or thought process that kind of crosses over from, personal training to event planning?
Oh, definitely. I'd say the biggest thing is, relationship building, because when you're working with someone on a personal level, also understanding people's goals. As a personal trainer, you have to understand the why behind
Yeah.
why someone is training with you. And that definitely translates over to planning as well. You really want to understand the why behind this event. It's not just a fun party, especially with corporate. There's always a reason why they're hosting this event. So really
Yeah.
getting down to the motivation behind why people do what they do in the first place.
That's I think you just kind of hit the nail on the head. I feel like that's probably why we've done, as many events together as we have. We're very focused on like what I say the goals of the event. Um, so that's really, really cool. So tell me a little bit about Avenue's event planning. Tell me a little bit about what kind of makes you guys different, what makes you different in particular. Um, I know that, Avenue started with a little bit with more with venues and being focused, kind of on providing the spaces. Talk to me a little bit about the transition and the opening up to more planning side things.
Yeah, definitely. It started as just a need from our clients. So,
Okay.
they would come to us with our venues. And then just through building that relationship and planning their events here in Orlando, they figured out that they travel and they need help sourcing other venues. And with our background and understanding what a good venue looks like and what would be
Right.
a good fit for them, it just kind of naturally came about that, we have the capability to help them in other areas. So we've been very lucky to travel with some of our corporate clients to other markets all across the US. and really just do everything from the venue selection to we even handle booking hotel rooms,
Oh wow, okay.
yeah, arranging travel if needed. So we're kind of the one-stop shop for everything event related, which is
That's really
sort of
cool.
unique in the event space because a normal, DMC or planning company might not do that. They might have offices in other countries or other places, but for the most part, they're kind of localized versus we have the ability
Yeah.
to travel really anywhere and deal with needs of all kinds.
Yeah, that's there's so many things that you just said that I'm like, ooh, I want to talk about that. So, like one of the things you mentioned was, your experience with venues and how that translates to your planning. Like, yeah, I mean, when I talk with our clients, I always, tell them like, it starts with a great when and where, and we refer you guys a lot because for that reason. So, all almost all of our favorite all our favorite venues in Orlando, and very quickly becoming all of our favorite venues in Atlanta are
Mhm.
Avenue places. So,
Yeah.
um, so the fact that you guys cover, I mean, you even talked about like room blocks. Just getting room blocks together is such a huge project. So, tell me a little bit about like a story where you've had a recent client or even a long-term client that they've come to you with, I don't want to say problems, but with these challenges and how you've addressed them. Like, talk to me a little bit about like, tell me a story about something that's gone really well when you thought everything was going to go really badly.
For sure. One of our big clients, the reason that they kind of went with us is because meeting planners have so many other things to do in their
Hmm.
plate. So one of our clients, she will just give us everything. She'll say, I don't want to deal with this time, and little by little, we've kind of picked up more and more because it started with just, okay, find us a venue. And then we realized, she realized that we can do so much more for her. So it's kind of progressed over the years working with this client, picking up more and more of like, oh, we can handle the room blocks now. We can book transportation for you. We can do the decor. We can handle entertainment. So it's been a natural progression of those things. And, we've definitely had stories of when things go wrong, but most of the
Right.
time, the feedback that we get from our clients is, wow, I should have went with you so many years ago. I would have saved so much time and so much hassle because, we're
Yeah.
taking that off their plate. So our focus for them is to show up to the event and just enjoy it instead of working through all the little nitty gritty. We handle the details so that they don't have to.
Right. Well, and actually, I mean that brings me to a kind of an interesting question. Is like, if you were, if somebody's watching this and you were talking to somebody that was just getting started with planning an event, what would be like the one thing that you would want them to know, just starting out?
Yeah. Um, I mean, if you're brand new to the industry, I would say find someone who has a background in event planning because there's so many nuances when it comes to this industry and planning an
Hmm.
event. So finding someone who's really experienced or has,
Yeah.
a little bit of insight into all of the details that this needs. But I think the one thing that I wish all of my clients knew or
Yeah.
would keep a focus is to have fun with it because we're planning events and events
Yeah.
should be fun. We've had several times where they're focused on one thing in particular about like pleasing the CEO and making sure like that cocktail is on the menu for him, which is
Hmm.
important. Details are important, but so many times I feel like their focus shifts and it becomes this whole
Yeah.
process and you're like, but we're planning an event, it should be fun. Just as
Yeah.
the event is fun, the process should be fun too.
I I have to share. So my fiance is an amazing project manager, and the term that she uses for exactly what you're describing is called getting lost in the sauce.
Absolutely.
And we're getting married in about a week, and we're getting into kind of the finer details. And it's like once we got all the big stuff done, all
Yeah.
of the things that were important, and we were getting into the final details, She actually, about 45 days out from wedding, she's like, I am now getting lost in the sauce. I need help. Like, she's like,
Yeah, that's crunch
when
time.
all the big stuff was needing to be done, I was totally calm. It was when we got into those little minute details about
Oh yeah.
like specifics about the food and little seating elements and things like that. It's like, I'm getting lost in the sauce. So feel free to use
Well,
that.
yeah,
Don't get lost in the sauce.
exactly.
I
It's
need a
all the
t-shirt
little
made.
details that come together last minute where you're like, well, what napkin fold are we doing? And did we
Oh
order
my
that?
gosh, that's a real, so real.
I
We
didn't think about that. So that's also where, planners come
yeah,
to help because you don't know what you don't know.
right. Right, and when you do, it's kind of something of benefit. Like most folks, if they're doing a big corporate event, they do that once a year. So in
Yeah,
10 years, they'll do that 10 times.
right.
In ten years, someone like you or me might do that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So
Every day.
every day, yeah. So amazing. So I want to get into a little bit of story time. I'm going to wind up asking you two questions.
Hmm.
Um, my first is tell me a tale of one client that just knocked it out of the park. A specific event where everything went right, or it was, and especially if it was something really unique or special, like something you wish you could see again at more events.
Yeah, I mean, so much of what I do is behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I like to say there's no perfect events because something is always going to go wrong.
Hmm.
But we recently had an event where it was multiple days,
Yeah.
which is always a challenge because there's so much time for something to go wrong. But the client had a great vision from the start. We were doing the Masters theme,
Oh, like
very
like golf, like
the
the golf
golf, yep.
masters. Okay. Yeah.
Which I'm not too much into golf, so I did a lot of Googling about like what that looks like, what
Green
to
and
look
yellow.
like.
Green and
Um,
yellow.
Yep. But the whole process was just so easy from start to end.
Hmm.
It's really rare that we have those clients where everything is just easy and they're yes people and they like all your ideas. I only did one initial proposal, which never happens. You're
Yeah.
usually doing several revisions, to get it right and fit the
Yeah.
vision. So this was like off the bat, hit the nail on the head.
Love
Um,
that.
Everything came together, vendors were on time, everything flowed. It was a really great 2-day event with multiple pieces and room blocks and hundreds of attendees and everything went off without a hitch, which is more than you can ask for an event.
Amazing. So you've probably guessed this,
Hmm.
but my next question is the exact, sort of the opposite.
Hmm.
Tell me a tale of a time when nothing was going right and how you brought all of the challenges together, but the event still went smoothly. I think one of the things that folks watch our show for is to get a little of the tea, but
Right.
to hear that, like, what we do as event professionals is take all of those problems, present solutions, and fix them before folks even realize that something's happening.
Yeah.
And I always love to ask this and learn a little bit about, like, an example of some time you've taken that's something that's been especially challenging or tricky, and turned it around for a client before they really could catch on.
Absolutely. So the story that comes to mind is from a wedding I did last
Hmm.
year,
Oh,
um,
wedding.
where it seemingly nothing was going right. And so my goal is to always handle it first. Whatever problem solving I can do
Hmm.
before, the bride, the family finds out within reason. Um,
Yeah.
but working behind the scenes to kind of problem solve. So, the elevators to get up were not working, our freight elevator
Oh my goodness.
thing. So we had to figure out a way around that, another route for vendors to get up.
Hmm.
Um, I realized, like, during the ceremony that my champagne had not arrived for the champagne toast.
Yeah.
So I had to call up the vendor and be like, hey, where are you guys? And they were able to make it in time, which was
Yeah.
great. Otherwise, I would have had a plan B or plan C to get it there on time.
Yeah.
Um, the guests were just getting a little bit rowdy, so we had to kind of put security in place to make sure that it
What,
was
is this? Oh, at a wedding? Never.
at a
Never.
yeah, for sure. But then some of the guests that were seated outside wanted to move inside, so we did our
Hmm.
best, to move tables. But I mean, our venue was already packed to the brim, but we did what we
Yeah.
could to accommodate people. So the entire night just ended up being a lot of shifting around, a lot of
Yeah.
just thinking on our feet. There was not a moment where I sat still because there was something that always required my attention. So that is really at the heart of event execution is just
Yeah.
on top anticipating people's needs is always what I am looking for. If
Absolutely.
someone's glass is empty, okay, let's refill this. If that's going to tip over, let's go, fix that down. So it's always being mindful and alert to see what we can prevent. And then if something happens, okay, how can we fix this and how can we do it quickly?
Absolutely. As somebody who moves pianos as part of my job, I'm
Yeah.
super curious about what one ultimately was the solution for the elevators.
We just had to bring everything up through the regular guest elevators instead of
Oh, okay. Well,
freight
that's
elevators. So
yeah.
it's not too crazy. Not like they were taking stairs up 11 stories, but
Oh, God bless you. God bless
yeah.
you. But that's awesome. Um, so that's so wonderful. So I guess I want to ask a little bit about Avenue's new route. Like if somebody was looking for planning, like what regions are you working in? Uh, what is it that you all look for in a client, and what should a great client look for in you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are really more of a boutique planning service. So
Hmm.
if someone, a lot of companies post COVID do not have like full staff meeting planners anymore. And so we're really there to fill that need from A to Z.
Okay.
Our I'd say our main markets that we travel most to, obviously Orlando, since that's where we're based, but we're
Yeah.
also doing a lot in the Atlanta area, up in Chicago, Las
Oh, really?
Vegas, yeah, and California. So those are like our primary markets that we operate out of. But if there's others, we can absolutely source
Yep.
and make those markets happen too. Uh,
Amazing.
I'd
Okay.
say, our ideal client is just someone that needs the help.
Yeah, fair enough.
And we're there to do full service for them.
Awesome. So you mentioned Orlando, Atlanta,
Mhm.
Chicago, Vegas, and California. So
California.
California is a big old place.
It is.
Is there a favorite city in California or a place you tend to go the most?
I'd say probably like the LA area,
Oh,
like
wonderful.
Anaheim. Yeah.
Well, this works
Disneyland,
out. Felix Fingers got offices in all those locations, so
just
it's
trading one Disney for the other.
yeah, yep. Anaheim's a little smaller though. Orlando's
A
got to
little
be,
smaller. Yeah.
got to be. All right.
We're the Mecca. We're the happiest place on earth.
Amazing. So, what are? Tell me about kind of what you're looking for, looking forward to, I should say. Tell me about what you're looking forward to going into this coming season. Is there any particular event? Is there a new thing that's happening? Coming out of this new planning stage for Avenue. What are you excited about in the coming season?
Yeah, absolutely. Holiday season is always our busiest season, which is fun because we get to do so many corporate holiday parties, and it's always a blast putting those together. We do have some more travel lined up for the fall as well, so I'm excited to do more traveling and, assist in
Yeah.
those other regions. And then next year is a really big year for us. We're helping a lot of events for a local convention
Oh,
that's coming to
wonderful.
Orlando, so we have a lot lined up for February of next year. So
Love that.
we'll be running around, but that is the joy of event planning. So I'm really excited for those events and next year to really be the big one.
So I'm somebody that goes all out on
Oh yeah.
themed events, and so holidays are prime time for me. Everything
Hmm.
from Halloween, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I get to wear my most ridiculous outfits. So very excited about that. So
We have a good theme.
you mentioned travel. Is there anywhere in particular that your events are taking you that you're really looking forward to seeing?
We have one event that's going to be in Toronto, Canada. So
Oh,
a little international trip. So
love
I'm
that.
excited for that one. I've never been to Canada in the fall, so I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Oh my goodness. The Leafs. The
Yeah.
leaves.
The leaves, probably
I
maple syrup.
There's a thing with my family called the crunch, which
Okay.
is basically once all the leaves fall,
Mm,
we go around anywhere outside
yeah,
and find the piles of leaves and stomp on them because
yeah.
it's
That's the best part
extremely
of fall.
satisfying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So amazing. So tell me a little bit about my last question for you is tell me about what your next event is, what it entails, and like kind of where you are at the stages with the client. Like talk about bringing something in for a landing, let's say.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm allowed to say the client that it's
That's okay.
for because it's a rebrand. So
Fair enough.
I don't want to give away too much information, but it is an event at our venue, The Balcony. So
Love the
nice
balcony.
big
Shout out
open
to the
space.
balcony in Orlando. If you're getting married or you have an event, they have an amazing downtown space, unlike
Yeah,
anything else. Shout
check
out to
us
the
out.
balcony. They're my favorite.
Uh,
They might be my favorite. They're definitely in my top three Orlando venues. So,
awesome. Yeah, so it's very brand heavy. So we're doing
mhm.
different installations. We're doing fun, like themed furniture that fits the brand colors. We're bringing in entertainment, and now we're about a month away. So we're getting into, the final details of it all, and making sure that it all just comes together flawlessly from food and beverage to entertainment to logistics, because the balcony can be a bit of a beast when it comes to
Yeah,
operating, but we have great vendor partners that we work with who know the space really well. So
yeah.
now we're just in the final stages of, you know, getting down to operations.
Yep. Now the trick is just to help the client not get lost in the sauce.
Exactly. Or lost in the
Yeah.
parking garage.
Oh yes. So I will say it's a terrace level downtown Orlando. So certainly there's elevators and little challenges there, but my gosh, is it worth it?
Yeah, but the
Um,
view is worth it.
absolutely. So Chloe, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a blast. You and I have had conversations like this. I can't tell you how many times, but I'm so happy that we could let folks in on it and talk a little bit about our lives and behind the scenes and working together. I know we'll be seeing. Sounds like we'll be seeing you guys in the fall again. So I'm really excited about that. Um, thank you again, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Eventful Endeavors, Secrets to Crafting the Perfect Celebration. We hope to have left you with some actionable ideas for your own event. If you like the show, please subscribe and definitely leave us a review. We read every comment. So until next time, happy planning and see you soon on Eventful Endeavors.